Hey there, this is Gabriel, King of Orion. I was thinking about the last Orbi report that I sent. I think it was like Thursday last week, where I was talking about new players and the new player experience for Eve Echoes. Since then, I've been thinking about like what's the best way to earn ISK in game for someone who doesn't have, a grind heavy ship. And it's actually transportation. It's actually not necessarily transport missions out of the encounter system, but transport missions associated with faction warfare. And it's kind of hidden in the menus. It's pretty deep in there, which is unforgiving for new players. But if you know where to look and how to like get registered with the factions, so for example, I'm with the Angel Cartel. Out of Hollow Hope is the name of the system that I keep a lot of my PvP toys. Um, Hi. Good. How are you? So Hollow Hope. Um, but the Angel Cartel. So faction warfare. It's on the main menu. So if you click your little profile picture on the HUD, it'll pull up the menu with all the different options. And in the lower left-hand corner, right next to faction war games, I believe, one of the old systems that needs some love. NetEase, get on that, please. um, is the faction warfare tab. And on the second, it'll open up with a bunch of like little entries. And the second tab over, under the pirate faction, the second option, I think it's the second option, there's one there for missions. And in there are combat missions with little targets. You can tell the difference between the targets and the little swoops with the arrows, and transportation missions. The swoops with the arrows are the transportation missions. You get 3 of those per reroll. So every 15 minutes, you can reroll. And every one of those transportation missions takes anywhere between 8 to 40 minutes total to transport with just a basic frigate. So I like to run around in a Tristan, because the Tristan can do anything in the game. It'll do it very bad. It is the worst at anything in the game, but it can do anything in the game. If you want to fly drones, there's a Tristan. If you want to fly missiles, you can throw them up on a Tristan. Any sort of turret, whatever. If you want to go mining, Tristan. It's like a venture, but without like the specialized equipment to go mining. Anyway, you can use a Rifter to do this. You can use a Vellator or a Reaper, one of the starting craft. I've got Galente and Minmatar on the mind at the moment. But any sort of ship. You can use any ship, and every 15 minutes or so, you make about 5 million ISK. Which, like, for a new player, for someone just starting out, that's really good money. That'll buy you any sort of frigate you want. A couple of runs of that will buy you any sort of destroyer. You do that 15 times or so, which, it's a grind, but you're not actually playing during that time. That'll get you any sort of cruiser. So you take your starter ship, you go into the encounter missions, like the faction missions, you grab one of those transportation missions, and you hit autopilot. And you just thumb over. When you're in autopilot, drop out of the game. Don't even have to play. Congratulations, you now have a passive 2 million ISK at any point in the day. If you really want to get technical and like efficiency focused, you could look at the little timer that your autopilot shows, and then just come back to the game when that timer's up. Set timers for yourself if you're doing other stuff and you really want to get your in-game like digital currency ISK, but it's 2 million ISK at the cost of 0 ISK. You don't need anything fancy to go flying around in nullsec. You're going to lose ships. I must warn you. Don't do this with expensive ships. Omega players will do it with interceptors, but even interceptors can get killed by a bodyguard. So, like, there's nobody really camping each individual pirate faction base because they're not really fighting for the pirates. It's a feature that is underutilized by the community. And so, as a new player, you can take full advantage of that and make an easy 1.8 to 1.5 million ISK every push of a button. And when you think about it, like, you're spending less time per like click. Your APM is way lower than a tick. So as a new player with no investment in the game, you can make about 1.5 million ISK per click of a button if you know what buttons to push. So yeah, hopefully that helps some of you new guys out there, new bros. If you're interested in a really rambly and ranty thing, I've got Orion's Belts book. I should be doing the last reading tomorrow. Um, and then from then on, I don't know what I'm going to do for Taco Tuesdays. I know I'm going to do something related to Operation Ignition and that op board. But I don't know if it's going to be like little vignettes and descriptions of the missions for new players. Because I want to read it. I want to read, I want to share what I wrote. So folks have access to that for, if they want to play. I hope you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.